Hello, welcome back. I am Dr. Brenda Murphy. I'm the Lazy Naturopath. And today I'm here to talk to you about something that is extremely lazy for your own good sleep. How to go to sleep and then how to wake up after you've gone to sleep. So, this is going to be a short, focused video tonight. I was going to talk about vitamin D because I'm in Florida, but it's kind of ridiculous to talk about vitamin D at night in the dark. So instead, we're going to talk about something that is more related to nighttime and darkness, and we'll do vitamin D another day this week. All right, so let's talk about how to go to sleep. So melatonin is your natural sleep hormone. It should spike around bedtime to put you to sleep. So when we're trying to support sleep, we want to support melatonin. So things you can do. Number one is stop the screens an hour or two before bedtime. The blue light that we get from electronics actually suppresses our natural melatonin and wakes us up. So it's the opposite of what we want going into bed. Number two is have a wind down time. Now you can do that with something like television earlier in the day, or you can get blue light blocking glasses. You can get blue light blocking screens, which aren't as good, but they do serve some purpose, blocking the blue light. But choose what you're winding down with wisely. So don't wind down with Hannibal or Game of Thrones or something super exciting or grisly or the news. Do not watch the news at night. There's a lot of reason not to watch the news very much at all, but definitely not at night. That's why reading is really good in the evening. An actual book, like with paper, no blue light. It's not as mentally engaging in the way that TV is. It's mentally engaging in other ways, but it won't be emotionally as activating as something that you're watching. And it naturally helps you fall asleep. All right, number three, another common cause, not necessarily to help you fall asleep, but to help you stay asleep, is often overnight your blood sugar will drop. And that often happens around 3 a.m., which is why a lot of us wake up at 3 a.m. So having a small protein and carbohydrate snack around bedtime, right before you brush your teeth, can help keep your blood sugar stable throughout the night. And this is like one cracker and a small piece of cheese, or a few nuts and a couple of raisins, like a tiny, tiny snack, like 1/3 or 1/4 of a granola bar. So very, very minimal, very few calories, but it's just about keeping you having some extra energy through that 8-hour sleep period so you don't have a 3 a.m. crash. All right. We also can physically calm down our cortisol because as melatonin puts us to sleep, cortisol wakes us up, and we tell time based on cortisol levels in the body. So if cortisol isn't super duper low, it should be almost zeroed out at night, like kind of between 0 and 1. If it's not really low, our brain thinks it's time for us to be awake. So we want to do things that lower cortisol, and those are things that are going to relax us. And that can be things like a hot bath, that can be some meditation, that can be some yoga. A walk after dinner is really useful as part of that wind down, relax, decrease cortisol. And again, we want to avoid things that are really exciting or stressful or aggravating. So that's how to go to sleep. Let's talk about quickly how to stay asleep. In addition to a little snack, something else that makes a huge difference is sleeping in a really, really, really dark room. Ideally, when you hold your hand out in front of your face, you should not be able to see it. That's how you know that your room is dark enough to truly not have any light affecting your sleep-wake cycles. Most of us don't have that type of dark room. Easy ways to achieve that dark room are blackout blinds. Those are super cheap. You can get like the paper version for $4 or $5, and it just tapes to your windowsill. You can get blackout curtains for not that much more, and pull them and have that really dark room. But getting the light out of your room also can be putting your phone either on airplane mode so it's not going off throughout the night, or better yet, putting it in another room. Some people are really sensitive to the EMF kind of Wi-Fi signals, and that's not something I know that much about, so I will eventually try to find an expert to talk more on that. But some people do have that sensitivity, but even if you don't, having your phone near you where it can go off is certainly going to be disruptive of sleep, or you waking up in the middle of the night and having the temptation to pick up your phone and looking at it. Now your eyes see some blue light, your brain gets excited, and now you're triggering waking up. All right, so let's talk about that. Let's talk about how to wake up. So we want to do all the opposite things. So we want light exposure. So one of the best ways to trigger that cortisol peak, which is the thing that wakes us up out of sleep, is as soon as you do wake up, as soon as you can, go expose your eyeballs to natural light. And it's okay if it's even shady, but that can be stepping outside for 10 or 15 minutes and just looking at the sky. Or in your kitchen, as you're making your morning cup of tea, looking out at the sun, anything like that. So morning light helps wake you up. Number 2 is movement. So morning is a great time to do even a short exercise interval to get that cortisol flowing in a healthy way, to get your blood flowing in a healthy way. Doing some hyperhydration in the morning can also be useful, where you drink like 16 to 24 ounces of water pretty quickly. A lot of times dehydration makes us tired, so that rehydrates us, but also that intense hydration is sort of a sign for the body to pick up and start working. And then this is why people go to caffeine like coffee. Coffee causes a cortisol spike. But better yet, you're going to do this without caffeine. But some people, including myself, I love coffee, take advantage of the effects of coffee for the cortisol spike. But there are a lot of ways you can naturally increase that cortisol and then drink some decaf for just the fun of coffee. All right, guys, that is the really quick, down and dirty how to sleep and how to wake back up rundown with lots of little tips and tricks to help you with your 1%. We are now at day 18 of this process, so hopefully you found these little tips and tricks helpful. Put your favorite, either the way that helps you fall asleep, the way that helps you wake up, or one of the ones that I went through that you think is going to best suit you in the comments, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.